Um, this was going to be difficult enough for me to begin with, and after hearing the words of the resolution, and this is the first time I've heard them, it doesn't make it any easier. Most of you know me. Most of you know I'm not a stranger to public speaking, but this one's different because my public speaking roles are usually where I'm advocating on behalf of the department or doing updates at seminars as to what's going on with FTP and its litigation portfolio. It's very rare for me to be standing here talking about myself. And so talking about myself, talking about others, it's not something that I do. And I really struggled with how I was going to go about doing this presentation. I got to a point where I sat down and I just asked myself, what are you going to be feeling when you stand at that podium or you go up on the stage to receive the award? And basically what it came down to is, feelings. I mean, right now, excitement and humility are at the forefront. But when I get past that, it's a great sense of good fortune, pride, and gratitude. I truly consider myself fortunate. I've had a good life. I've had a great professional career. And I can honestly say if someone were to offer me the opportunity to trade my experiences for theirs, I'd turn it down. When I say I'm experiencing feelings of pride, I'm not talking about my personal accomplishments. It was hard enough to listen to what's in the resolution. What I'm talking about is I take great pride in being a representative of the Franchise Tax Board. Let me give you a little background as to why I say that. I started my career in 1978. It was in November, shortly before Thanksgiving, that I got the good news from the bar examiners that I had passed the California State Bar. I was admitted to practice law in all courts of the state of California shortly thereafter. And a few weeks later, I embarked on what has been a 40-plus year career. My career breaks down at roughly 50% public sector and Franchise Tax Board. During the last 15 years of my career in the private sector, I was for lack of a better term, I was a partner in what was then the largest firm in Sacramento, and a firm that enjoyed a stellar reputation for going about its business with ultimate high ethics and providing high quality customer and client representation on a regular basis. Quite frankly, that's the way we did things. And one of the things I learned during that 15 years is that if you commit to doing things the right way, putting your ethics out in front, there's really something about that's very liberating, and it actually gets to a point where it's easy to do things that way. It's easy to take on the difficult situation because you're being forthright and honest. In 2001, I decided to make a career and a life change. And at that time, I joined the Franchise Tax Board. What did I know about the Franchise Tax Board? What I knew was it was an entity to which I wrote checks on an annual basis, and that it had a reputation for being a good place to work. That was about it. I didn't really know what I was getting into. I didn't know what it was going to be like in terms of continuing to practice law the way I wanted to, or the way I'd become accustomed to. As I became acclimated to FTB and began to take on expanding responsibilities and know more about the organization as a whole as opposed to just the confines of the legal department, I came to realize that the values I had come to cherish, again, doing things the right way and taking the high road while you're doing it, were here. Not just in the legal department, but throughout the organization. The Taxpayer Bill of Rights talks in terms of FTB having an obligation to ensure that taxpayers pay the correct amount of tax. Quite frankly, I don't know that the legislature had to go ahead and put that goal into a statute, because from what I've seen of this place, that was already the mantra and the way that FTB went about doing things. I have had experiences here that cross over the many divisions within FTB. I've seen the audit division spend a lot of time addressing how tax statutes should be applied to ensure that the laws are applied fairly and consistently. I've likewise seen our forms and communications people go to great lengths to tell taxpayers in writing how to meet their filing obligations. That dedication to fairness is also present and in the forefront in what I sometimes refer to as the back end of the FTB operation. That's debt collection. Yeah, FTB obviously is the principal revenue raiser for the state of California. It's got the fiduciary obligation to go out and do it. FTB also is aware of the fact that there are a lot of people in this state who are not in a position to simply write a check and pay their bill. We have programs out there. Our people are trained to take into consideration these hardships. We have a variety of ways to deal with that. And while there's a balance that where we have to at times be firm, the fact of the matter is that in fulfilling that obligation, FTB doesn't sue people. We don't foreclose on their homes. We don't force them into bankruptcy. The legal division, of course, plays a significant role in all of this, as well as being in the forefront of handling formal dispute resolution matters, be it internally or before the Office of Tax Appeal, its predecessor, the Board of Equalization, or the courts. Regardless of the forum, we carefully review our facts, research the law, and clearly state the FTB's positions in all of our written submissions to these various tribunals. Should the matter require oral argument, our presentations are always professional and are done in a manner showing respect for whoever it is that's presiding over the matter, the taxpayer, and whoever it is that may be representing the taxpayer. These considerations of fairness are not limited to FTB's performing its tax assessment and collection responsibilities, but also in the way FTB treats its employees. We strive to continue FTB's reputation for being a great place to work through the use of open door policies and to ensure that employees' concerns are heard. We also strive to eliminate discrimination and all forms of bias from the workplace. And as Selby pointed out a few minutes ago, we affirmatively undertake efforts designed at inclusion, not exclusion. While mistakes might occur and there's always room for improvement, I believe FTB ascribes to high standards in all aspects of its operation and function, and I'm proud to be part of it for the last 20 years. Gratitude. I'm overwhelmed. I can't thank you enough for what you're doing for me. And I really appreciate what FTB is, what it's become, and I'd like to extend some personal thank yous at this point. To the board, members Cohen, Miller, and Chairwoman Controller Yee, and your predecessors, I thank you for your guidance and oversight and that you have provided and will continue to provide to this organization. To Controller Yee, I can't help but reflect upon the fact that I have represented FTB before the Board of Equalization on occasions where you were charged with the responsibility of deciding the matter, and on other occasions in your capacity as chair of the FTB. I want to thank you for your professionalism, for always being prepared, listening, and asking the questions designed to get at the heart of the matter to enable you to make the decisions you did. And that includes those occasions where you disagreed with the position I was advocating. To Selby, for your unwavering dedication and devotion to this organization, and for your unspoken insistence that FTB always operate with consistent excellence. To Giselle, for sharing my compulsions for word sleuthing and finding the proper tone or tones for written and verbal communications, for having the confidence in me to entrust me the various cases I have been assigned and the positions of responsibility I have achieved within the legal division. More importantly, thank you for the friendship we have developed. To Shane, very simple, for being my always available sounding board on any topic. To Ann Hodges, for being my proverbial right arm for these past many years. To Ann, Scott DePeel, Joanne Palisock, and the many other people who helped me meet the numerous challenges that thrust upon FTB in connection with a certain matter that went before the Board of Equalization during August of 2017. To all of you who work in the settlement and litigation bureaus, I thank you for your commitment to excellence, as well as the intellect, personality, and diversity you bring to our organization. To the chiefs and upper management members of all the divisions not named legal, I thank you for your open-mindedness and willingness to listen and consider the advice provided by legal on various matters, even though there might be a sense that what legal might be saying is sometimes understood or feared to be an unnecessary stop sign. To my fellow colleagues in the legal division management team, I thank you for your dedication to ensuring that the legal division is the best that it can be. I know the challenges and pressures you face, and I also know that you have the collective knowledge and temperament to guide and lead the division through whatever challenges may arise in the near and not so near future. A few minutes ago, I told you that if offered the opportunity, I would not trade my life for another. That is particularly true when it comes to my family. With me today are my wife, Penny, my son, Chris, my daughter-in-law, Jacqueline, and my grandson, Colin. My daughter, Megan, couldn't be here, but they have always been supportive, and they are truly what is most important to me, and I thank them for supporting me today and throughout the years. To Chris and Megan, I thank you for putting up with the long hours I put into my career over the years, and for becoming the upstanding people you are, and for assuming more and more responsibility within the family as time has transpired. To Jacqueline, I thank you for becoming part of the family and all that you bring to us. To Colin, I thank you for the unbridled sense of joy I experience every time I see you, and the reminder of what a precious gift children truly are. And to my wife, Penny, I could go on for a long time, but she'd kill me. But it's really very simple. We've been married for 42 years, and Penny has been with me every step of the way during my legal career. We've shared the highs, the lows, and the moments of nervous anticipation. Penny has always been there for me and is my personal rock. I know I don't thank her enough for the support she has provided me throughout my career, but it is the reality, the value of which can't be quantified and is only exceeded by my appreciation. In closing, one of the certainties in life is that time moves on, and the time has come for me to retire from FTB. Doing so is bittersweet because in doing it, I am stepping away from something that is very, very dear to me. My memories of FTB and its people will always be positive, and I cannot express how much I appreciate your letting me be a very small part of this organization. Thank you for everything from the bottom of my heart.